So that's just the question. They're all from the N plus ISEB pretest, and most of the questions is not very hard for you, but we just review this kind of knowledge that you have learned in on holiday courses. So first one, candles cost 2.5 pounds, or you can buy 3 for 5 pounds. Which of the following is equivalent to the offer of 3 for 5 when compared to the price of a single candle? Okay. So let's say for this question, know that if you want to get a box of candles, you can get 3, but that only costs 5, right? And if you buy candles one by one, each one going to cost you 2.5. If you got 2 of that, let's say if you got 2 of that, you're going to have 5 pounds. You're going to cost 5 pounds. But you will see that if you cost 5 pounds, you can get 3. So you're going to choose which one, guys? You buy 2, you're going to cost 5, right? But actually, if you cost 5, you can get 3. That means the last one you can get that for free, right? So you're going to choose D. Means you buy 2, you're going to get 1 free. Does it make sense, guys? So maybe you can type your answer in the chat box, interact with me. So next question. How about this one? There is a field of sheep, lambs, and cows. There are 146 animals altogether, and there are 3 times as many sheep as them, and there are 20 more cows than sheep. Question, how many lambs are in the field? Okay, guys, I will give you 30 seconds to think about it. And you actually can type your answer in the chat box. Okay, I got an answer, which is D. What about others? Do you get the answer? 18. That's right. That's right. Okay, let's see. We know that altogether we got 146 animals. There are 3 times as many sheep as them. So we're gonna set we got the number of them is L, and the number of sheep is S. So from this information, you know that the number of sheep, which is S, equals to 3 times by L. And also there are 20 more cows than sheep. So that means the number of cows equals to the number of sheep, which is S plus 20. And also you know that S equals to 3L. So 3, that equals to 3 times L plus 20. And now we are ready to get the equation over here. So in total, you got 146, right? So that means the number of sheep plus number of lambs plus number of cows equals to 146. And now you can replace this S and C in terms of this equation about L, which is 3L plus 1L plus 3L and 20. So that's going to be 146. So you take away that 12 from the left-hand side. That gives you, let's say, 7 times L equals to 126. And then you divide by 7. So you got L equals to 18. And that's why you choose D. Then how about the question number 3? The coordinates of 4 vertices of a quadrilateral are W6, W minus 3, W minus 1, 5, and W plus 1, 5. Okay, guys, so to solve this kind of question, you just let W to a simple number. I'm gonna let W equals to 0. So it can be 0, 6, 0 minus 3. So this one will be minus 1, 5, and this one will be 1, 5. And now I'm going to get this X, Y coordinates and try to get all of these 4 coordinates and connect them. So let's say first one is 0, 6. So this one will be 0.6. How about that? And 0 minus 3, let's see, this one is 0 minus 3. And as for this one's minus 1, 5. So minus 1 going to be at this place, and equal 5 is a little bit lower than 6. And also 1, 5 going to be at this place. Now you have to connect it. These 4 points, connect them. So you see, it's not a square, it's not a rectangle, it's not a trapezium, it's not a parallelogram, it is a kite. So that's why you choose D. Let's move on to the next question, question number 4. Which fraction is larger than 3/4 and less than 7/8? Everyone, I'm gonna give you 1 minute or 30 seconds. Can you tell me what's your answer? What is your choice for that? Which one is between 3/4 and 7/8? Yeah, Dianhe, that's right. It's 4/5. That's right. How'd you get it? Actually, the method that I'm going to use is that I'm going to convert all of this fraction into the same denominator. And you see, you got 10, 5, 10, 8, 16. And actually, the common multiple of these numbers are 80. It's 80, right? So let's convert this all into something 80. 80 as a denominator. So as for this one, you times by 8 to 7. So that can be 56. And also for this two, you have to convert that into 80. That will be 70 over 80. And this one will be 60 over 80. So you need to find a number which got a denominator 80. And as for the numerator, you're going to have 61 to 69. So you see for the second one, you're going to get 80, which means you times by 16. You times 16 from to the denominator and numerator. So 4 times 16, you got 64. Actually, that works because 64 is between 61 and 69. And let's finish all the others. So actually, guys, in the exam, if you found B is correct, you just choose B and skip to the next question. But we're going to go through all of that to show you how to convert it. So 10 times by 8 gives you 80. 8 times by 9, 72 is greater than 70, so it doesn't work. And this one is also, you see, times by 10, 80 and 60. This one times by 5, going to be 70 over 80. So only choice B is correct. 64 is between 61 and 69. Okay, and for the next question, you have to add all these fractions together to get the answer. And actually, what I'm doing is that I'm going to put these two in the bracket and this two in the bracket. Because 6 and 3, it's very easy to make the denominator the same, right? Because 3 is 4/3, going to be 8 over 6, and you add 16 over 6. So for this one, going to be 20 over 8 and 20 over 8. And now you're ready to get the answer. 6 will be the denominator, 8 plus 16. You got 24. And this one is 40 over 8. And you just do the division, 24 divided by 6, you got 4. And 40 divided by 8, you got 5. So you add 4 and 5, you got 9. So that's why you choose C. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 6. You got 5 identical diamonds here. What are the coordinates of point D? Let's see. This diamond at this piece, see, you got 4 coordinates of this shape. So you know the measure of this thing. Let's see. In this vertical direction, you have to use 4 take with 2. That means the length of the vertical direction gonna be 2. This will be 2. And also, if you take a look at the horizontal direction, it's just 3 take with 1 is also 2. It's also 2. And that means if you cut this diamond into 4 parts, 4 equal parts, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 parts, and the length of each small part will be 1 because you still divide by 2, so that's 1. And now let's see, what is the coordinates of D? If you go to the x-axis and y-axis, let's see, we know that this part is 1, this part is 1, and this is also 1. So it means the y coordinates that be -3. So actually from the options, you must choose B, because only this one gives you -3 as a y-axis. And I say, how about the x-axis? So that'll be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, it can be 4, but it goes to the left of the original coordinate. So that's going to be -4, which is -4, -3. So that's why you choose B. Okay, so next question, question number 7. Okay, guys, this one is very, very easy. Can you just tell me directly what's the answer? If the lines are reflected in both dotted mirror lines, what shape will be produced? Yeah, a rectangle, that's right. That will be a rectangle. So as for this dotted line, you do the reflection, you got this line over here, and then just a diagonal of the square, the diagonal of the square. So you do the reflection again, and you connect these two. So that gives you a rectangle. Okay, next one. Next question. So this question will be a little bit complicated, but just fine. A cuboid is formed from the net. What is the volume of the cuboid? So let me draw that cuboid for you. So if you fold it up, you're going to get this cuboid. And if you want to get the volume of this cuboid, you have to use the, let's say, the length times the width and times the height. The question is, what is the length, width, and height respectively? So if you take a look at this small part, that will be the height if you fold it up, right? And this two will be exactly the same, because if you're going to fold it up, these two sides will stick together. So the length will be the same. So this will be 2. So the height will be 2, and this will be 2 as well. This will be 2. So the length equals to 14. Take away 2 of 2. So that gives you 10, will be the length. So what will be the width, guys? How can I get the width? You see, this is 2, this is 2, and this is one of the width, and this is another width. What does that mean? That means 2 width adding 2 times by 2 gives you 16. So can anyone tell me what is width, guys? What is width? Can you type your answer in the chat box, guys? 16 take away 4, 12, 12 divided by 2, you got 6, that's right. So width equals to 6. Okay, we are ready to get the volume that equals to the length, which is 10, times the width, times the height. So that gives you 120 cubic centimeters. Okay, so you choose option B. Next one. Next question. Let's see, the pie chart shows how many times the pupils in a class used certain modes of transport during 1 month. Y stands for a number of degrees. And there are a total of 2,520 journeys across all the modes of transport, of which 504 are taxi rides. How many bus rides are there? So actually, for this question, I'm going to use the ratios to solve it. See, we know the number of taxi rides is 504, right? And that is 8y. And this was, as for the coach, it's only 4y. So 4 is a half of 8. So to get the number of coach, it's just a half of 504, so which is 252, right? And as for this train, it's 12. And we know that 12 is 3 times of 4y. So the number of train equals to 252 times by 3. And that gives you 756, okay, 756 of trains. And now you have to get the bus. So you know the total going to be this number. So the final answer equals to 2,520, take away 504, take away 252, take away 756. So that gives you 1,008. Okay, let's just tap your answer by one time. I can see that. So you choose E. You choose E, guys. So actually, in the exam, how can you solve the question fast? Is that necessary that you get the final answer? Actually, you can just do this kind of analysis, guys. This number ends up 0, right? So you take away 4 and take away 6. And that gives you 0. And you take away 2. That means the last digit must be 8. And then it goes to the, yes, Hugo, you want to say something? And you see the answer must end as 8 at the 1st digit, right? So A, B, C, D, they don't have 8 in the 1st digit, so you must choose E.
So the 4y on the coach, it's 250 pupils. So the total is 2,520. So you just times it by 10. So
I just times it by 10. Oh, yes. And then you see, I have to know how many students use the bus.
okay.
Yeah, it's a question asking you about how many bus rides are there. So you have to get a coach, you have to get a train. But that is good. Good question. You find the relationship. That means the coach just 1/10. It's just 1/10 of all the students. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Question number 10. It's not very hard. It says Tom works from 8:30 to 16:30, 5 days a week. He's paid 12 pounds at 1 hour, and Tom gets, say, 20% of his pay deducted for tax. So that means, what does that mean? That means if I earned 100 pounds, I'm going to pay the tax for 20 pounds. So I can only get 80% of that by myself, which is 80. And also for this question, how much does Tom receive in his weekly pay package? So you see, every day from 8:30 to 16:30, that will be 8 hours. And we have 5 days. And each hour, we're going to be paid by 12 pounds. But we can only get 80% of that by ourselves, right? So then you do the calculation, you find the answer. Let's see, 8 times 5, you got 40, 40 times 12, you got 480, and you times this 80%. So after the calculation, which one is correct? Which one must be correct? You must choose E. Do you know why? Because 8 times by 8 is 64. So that means the last digit must be 4. And if you go through A, B, C, D, E, only this one gives you last digit 4. So that's why you choose E. Okay, next one. Let's see. The 4 digits in the time 11:11 are all the same. How many minutes before 11:11 was the last time that had 4 identical digits? So what is that time, guys? What is that time? Before 11:11. It should be 00. It's just the minute. Okay, so the question convert into from this time to 11:11, how many minutes are there, right? So you have 11 hours and 11 minutes. So we know that 11 hours equals to 660 minutes. And you add 11 to it. So that gives you 671 minutes. So you choose E. All right, so next question. A cube made of individual unit cubes is shown. The outside of the cube is painted white. After the paint has dried, the cube is taken apart. How many of identical cubes have exactly 2 of their faces painted white? So we learned that in our lesson 4 or 5, I remember. Right? So you have to find where is the cube that are painted only 2 faces, and you should know that it's on the edge. They're all on the edges, right? These 2 places. And you see in each edge, you're gonna have 2 cubes that are painted by 2 faces. And how many edges do you have in a cube, guys? We know that we have got 12 edges in your cube. So 2 times by 12, you got 24. So you choose C. So can I ask you one more question? How many cubes are there which are painted 3 faces? So all the cubes, all the small cubes that are on the vertexes are painted by 3 faces. So you have 8 of that. And how many of the cubes are painted only 1 face? You got 6 faces, and you know that they are all in the middle, or in the center of each face. And in each face you have 4. And in total you have 6 faces. So that'll be 6 times by 4, which gives you 24 as well. Okay, that's it. So next one, question number 13. Samura and Sammy lives 12 kilograms apart on a straight road. They both set off from their homes at 12 noon to meet each other on the road. So actually, it's just the question that we learned in on holiday courses, lesson 10. It's a meeting problem. We know the distance, which is 12 kilograms, and you know that's a meeting problem. The speed of let's see, the speed of Samira can be 12 kilograms per hour, and the speed of Sammy 6 kilograms per hour. If you want to get the meeting time, the time equals to the total distance divided by the sum of their speed, right? So which is 12 divided by 12 plus 6. And the unit gonna be hours. Let's see, 12 divided by 18, and that will be, if you divide by 6, that's gonna be 2/3 hours. And in each hour, we have 60 minutes. So that equals to 2/3 times by 60, which gives us 40 minutes. So that means after 40 minutes, they're gonna meet with each other. And the starting time is 12 noon. So after 40 minutes, it's gonna be 12:40. So you choose A. Question number 14. Sarah starts by facing northeast. So in this direction, northeast. She turns through 5/8 of a revolution anti-clockwise. We know that a revolution is just a full turn. A full turn is 360 degrees. And she just turned through 5/8. So you times that by 5/8. So which gives you 225 degrees. So that equals to a straight angle, which is 180 plus 48. 45. Right? It was 45. So what does that mean? That means we turned a straight angle. This is the half turn. So we are going to face this southwest, and we have more 45 to turn. We're going to turn more 45, go to this place. And then she turns 45 clockwise. That means we're going to change our direction. So we go back to this direction. This will be the final direction that we face, which is southwest. Southwest is the SW, so you choose B. Yes, Hugo, go ahead.
Oh, I put my hands up by mistake.
That's fine. So easy question. Let's move on to the next one. This is about statistics, and we are going to learn that in our long-term courses just next week. Okay, and see the graph shows the results of for 5 football teams in a tournament. Each team played each of the other teams twice. 3 points are awarded for a win. So whenever you saw this kind of question, you need to be really careful. It says 3 points for a win, 2 points for a draw, and 1 point for loss. And you know that this dark one means you got 1, and this white, the blank, is lost, and the gray is the draw. So now we are ready to get the full marks of each team. So for team 1, black, 4 of black, and it says frequency, right? It's gonna win 4 games and lose 4 games. So the total points that we got are gonna be 3 times by 4, and you add 1. Let's say 1 times by 4. So that gives you which number? 16, right? That will be 16. So guys, can you help me to get the full marks of team 2? What is the total score, total points that team 2 get? This means 3, this means 1, this means 2. No. What's the point? Gonna be 13, right? So basically 3 times by 2 will be 6, 5 times 1 will be 5, 1 times by 2 will be 2, so 13. And the third one, team 3 get 14. Team 4 gonna be 18, sorry, gonna be 19, and team 5 will be 18. So this one is 15, and they add 3, so 18 basically. So let me circle all the 4 points. Guys, get yourself muted. So question, what were the range of the final points awarded? So the range, you have to use the largest number take with smallest number, which is 19, take with 13, and that will be 6. So you choose C. Next one. A fruit drink is made from water, orange juice, and black currant juice in a ratio of 1 to 2 to 3. If 0.4 liters of orange juice are used, how many of these glasses, which is capacity, which is 150 milliliters, glasses can be filled with a fruit drink? So you have to know what is the total amount of all the orange juice, because you know that the orange juice is 0.4 liters. So let's convert that into milliliters first. So that will be 0.4 times by 1,000. That equals to 400 milliliters. And this one is 400. And 1, as for 1, we know that is just half of 2, so which is 200 milliliters. And the 3 will be 3 times of 200, which is 600. Now you know that this fruit drink, in total, how many milliliters you have? That'll be 200 plus 400 plus 600. And that gives you 1,200 milliliters. So how many glasses that you can fill in? So that'll be 1,200 divided by 150. So what do you get? Yes, they're gonna be 8. Then you choose C. All right. So question number 17. The time is 23 o'clock. Yes, Bob? What is the reflex angle?
I don't understand.
You don't understand which question?
16.
Okay, so let's go back to 16. Which part that you confused?
Why do you times 0.4 by 1,000?
Ah, because it's liters. We have to convert that into milliliters. And 1 liter equals to 1,000 milliliter. And you got 0.4 liters, so that equals to 400 milliliters. That's why we need to convert it. Because you see, the unit of the glass is milliliter, it's not liter. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that's fine. So question number 17. The time is this time is 23 o'clock. What is the reflex angle between the hands on the clock? So let me draw that clock for you. So this is the minute hand, and this is the hour. The hands represent hours. So what does that reflex angle mean? The reflex angle means the angle which is bigger than 180 degrees. It's bigger than that. So that means it's going to be this angle, guys, this angle. How to get this angle? We know that this little part is going to be 1/12 times by the photon, which is 360, right? So you have to use 360 to take away this angle. So 30, right? 30 degrees. So 360 take away 30. That gives you 330 degrees. So you choose E, that's right. So the thing for this question you have to know is that what does that mean by reflex angle, okay? You know the acute angle, the obtuse angle, the right angle, the straight angle, the full turn, and now you know this reflex angle, which is between 360 and 180. Next question. Mick runs 10 kilograms in 15 minutes. Mick wants to reduce his time by 2%. What is Mick's target time? I think it's very easy question. You have to reduce the by this much. So actually the target time is 50 times by 1 take away 2%. So that will be 50 times by 98%. That will be the target time that Mick wants. So which will be 50 times, if we reduce this one, then it can be 49 over 50, and this two will be canceled out. So the final answer will be 49 minutes. So you choose C. Okay. Next question. On the map, 50 centimeters represents 40 kilograms. What is the scale of the map? So that means you have to convert this unit into the same. Let's convert them all into centimeters. Okay. So that can be 50 centimeters to, we know that is 40 kilograms. And if you times 1,000, that will be meters. And then times 100, that will be centimeters. Okay. And now you can get the scale. Going to be 50 to 4 with how many zero falling? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 zeros. And you're gonna reduce 0 and 0, 5 to this 400,000. So you divide by 5. That's gonna be 1 to 80,000. Which one is correct? Yeah, you choose A. Next one. So in this question, in a survey, half the participants say they only drink coffee and 1/4 say they only drink tea. So let me write down the fractions here. Only coffee will be a half. Only tea will be a 1/4. And it says 1/8 say they drink both tea and coffee. So tea and coffee will be 1/8. And also while the remaining 1/8, last 1/8, say they drink neither coffee nor tea. They don't drink coffee nor tea. So it says 57 more participants say they drink only coffee. So only coffee will be a half, right? And then drink both tea and coffee. And we know that both drink tea and coffee will be 1/8. So what is the difference of the fraction? That's going to be 1/2, take away 1/8. And that gives us 57 participants. So how many participants do we have in total? You have to use 57 divided by the corresponding fraction. And what you get? They must be very British. Yeah, I think so. So 57 divided by actually going to be 3/8, right? So that equals to 57 times 8/3. So what do you get? What do you get, guys? 57 divided by 3, you got 19. 19 times by 8, you got 152. And what does that mean? That means how many participants do we have in this survey in total? And the question is how many participants say they drink neither coffee nor tea? So that will be 152 times the fraction, which is 1/8. So you divide by 8, you got 19. So that's why you choose D. Next one, next question. So you see this question is, you got this, looks like complicated diagram, but actually the question is very easy. You got Billa and Def both start at point W. Okay, both start from this point W. At the same time, they finish at X. And Billa takes the shorter route, which measures 6 kilograms and runs at a speed of 6 per hour, 6 kilograms per hour. Def takes the longer route, which is 9 kilograms and reach X at the same time. Okay. Now you know the speed of Bezo and Billa and this, the distance of Billa. And so now you know the time. And we know the time will be the same. So we can get the speed of Def. Let's say the time. Time equals to the distance, which is 6 divided by 4. That gives you 1.5 hours. And you know the time for that will be exactly the same because they said they arrive at the same time. So what is the speed of that? You use this distance divided by the hour, 1.5. It's going to be 9 divided by 1.5 and you got 6. And that will be the speed of Def. So which gives you, let's say, C. Yes, you choose C, 6 kilograms per hour. Question number 22. There are 12 questions in the quiz. A correct answer scores 3 points. An incorrect answer scores -1 points. And an unanswered question scores 0. It is possible to get a negative score. What is the possible range of the score? So for this one, I think it's also very easy. You have to use the scores that you can get as most, means you get all the questions correct, and then take away the situation that you got all the answers incorrect. So let's say if we got all the questions correct, that will be 12 times by 3. I can get 36 scores. But if let's say if I got all the questions incorrect, and then I got -1 times by 12, I got minus a negative 12 scores. So what is the range? You have to use 36, take away this -12. So basically we know that 2 negative gives you positive. So 36 plus 12, you got 48, and you choose D. Quick maths, that's right. Question number 23. Which one of the following statements is false? The letter stands for any integer, so include 0 and negative numbers. A, if P is negative, P plus P must be negative. That's right. Minus, let's say I'm going to give P any simple negative number, -2. How about that? Plus -2. It must be a negative number. So this one's correct. We don't choose that because we need to find the false statement. R squared cannot be negative. That's right. Okay. Any number you squared it must be greater than 0 or equal to 0. If n is 0 or positive, n plus n cannot be negative. Yes, that's right. So basically 2 times n. N is 0 or positive, then 2 times n must be 0 or positive. Let's say w times -w cannot be positive. Yes, that's right. Because w times -w, that will be -w squared. And we know that this part must be 0 or greater or positive number, but it got this negative sign in front of it. So it cannot be cannot be positive. That's right. So we choose E. It says if T is a negative, T divided by T must also be negative. It's not correct. -2 divided by -2, you got 1. Okay, it's not negative, it's positive. Okay, next question. Question number 24. Mr. Gateway is saving for a holiday. He saves £G every week towards the holiday. After 7 weeks, Mr. Gateway has saved 35% of the total price of the holiday. And if G equals to 77, what is the total price of the holiday? Easy question, guys. 7 weeks. Every week, you're gonna save £77. And that is just the 35%. So you divide by 35, you know what is the total money that Mr. Gateway wants to save. So let's see, how do we do this calculation fast? 7 times 77. Divide by this number, you just times the reciprocal of it. So you times 100 over 35. And you know that 100 over 35, if you divide that by 5, you gotta get as 20 over 7. And you see this 7 will cancel out. So that equals to 77 times 20. So which is, which number, guys? 41540 pounds. So you choose D. Is that clear for you guys? You got last question today. Okay, question number 25. Ali has a bag containing only 2 pounds and 5 pennies coins. The total value of 5p coins is 8 times of total value of 2 pounds coins. So it says value, guys. You have to be careful. Sometimes it tells you it's the number of coins. Sometimes it tells you the value of coins. It's different, okay? And if there is at least 2 of each type of coin, what is the minimum number of coins? You see, the question is asking you about the minimum number of coins, not value. Okay, it says number of coins in the bag. So if you want to get the number of coins as small as possible, you have to get as small as possible for the value, right? And it says there is at least 2 for each type of coin. So how about we got only 2 of these 2 pound coins, because that is as small as possible that we can get. So 2 pounds times by 2, you got 4 pounds. And that 4 pounds equals to how many pennies? Equals to 400, right? 400 pennies. And you know the value of 5p coins is 8 times of that. So you have to use, so we know that the value of 5p coins equals to 400p times by 8. So going to be 3,200p. And then question, what is the number of coins? So you have to use the number divided by 5 because each coin gives you 5 pennies, right? So the number of these 5p coins will be 200 divided by 5. How many of that do you have? You got 640 of 5p coins. So in total, you got this much of 5p coins and you have only 2 of these 2 pound coins. So in total, how many coins do you have in your bag? 640 add 2, that means 642 coins. So that's why you choose D. Okay, that's all about this session. So see you guys next time. Do you have any other questions about all these 25 ISEB pretest question? Yes, Jean, go ahead.
Can you explain how you did the question 20 again?
Okay, question 20, let's see. This question? Okay. So maybe for this kind of question, I can give you another way to solve it. It's like you can use the pie chart. Let's have a pie chart here. This is a pie chart, just a circle. And in this survey, we know that half of the participants say they only drink coffee. We're going to cut it in half. And you're going to write down it says only coffee. So cough. How about that? C-O-F. And it says 1/4 say they only drink tea. 1/4. You cut this half by 2. So this means 1/4. That is only tea. And it says 1/8 say they drink both tea and coffee. So for this part, you just cut it in half again. This is 1/8. And this part means coffee and tea. And this part means no coffee and no tea. That's it. That's the pie chart you have. And then you can go to this question. It says 57 more participants say they drink only coffee than drink both tea and coffee. What does that mean? That means this part, this smile face part, is bigger than this part, this angry face part, by 57. So question, how many participants say they drink neither coffee or tea? How do we get that? We know the fraction of this smile face part who drink coffee, only coffee will be a half. And this part is just a 1/8. And the difference of these two parts will be a half take away 1/8. And that fraction gives you, so let me do this slowly, step by step. So first you have to convert that into the same denominator. That will be 4/8. Take away 1/8, which gives you 3/8. And that part is how many people? It's 57. So you have to use 57 divided by its corresponding fraction. So you got this total pie chart. How many participants do we have in this survey? So if you divide by 3/8, you just divide by 3 and times by 8. That gives you 19 times by 8, which is 152. Means this whole pie chart, you have 152 participants. And the question is, how many participants say they drink neither coffee or tea? And we know that is just 1/8. You use 152 times this number. Basically, you just divide by 8. So you got 19. That's why you choose D. So Jing, is that clear for you or still feel confused?
Clear. Thank you.
Okay. So any other questions, guys? William said, when we'll do the others? This Wednesday, guys, this Wednesday in the office hour, I will go through from 26 to 50. And maybe next week, I will go through all the